What's happening? What's happening? What is happening? This is Catfish, and you are now in the fishbowl with Catfish. You know what I mean? Um, so yesterday, uh, we went live, uh, as we always do on Thursdays, and I told everyone that I was gonna go live today so that we can talk about a number of things because we ended up having a lot of stuff that we didn't touch on yesterday. But one of the things that we definitely wanted to talk about today was the release of the new Andre 3000 jazz album, right? So I went live yesterday, and then as I went live, um, I ended my live and I ended up being a host on someone else's live. Uh, and for some reason, I lost my internet connection. The power went out, you know, here in my neighborhood, and so uh, I sat around and I waited and to realize, yo, the album is already out. So what I did was knowing that this album was an instrumental album, and knowing that uh, you had to clear your mind and prepare for it because it was going to be something completely different from the artists that we are used to, that we are accustomed to. I grabbed my noise canceling headphones and I put them on and I listened to the album. I listened to the album once in its entirety yesterday. And then I listened to a couple of songs that I enjoyed from the album. And then this morning when I got up, I went to get me some breakfast from Whataburger, and I tried to listen to it again in the car. Um, and I realized that that's not the appropriate way to listen to this album, right? But then it made me think, okay, there are other things that we have to do when listening to this album that would make it better. And one of the things that we have to do when we're listening to this album is we have to completely forget everything that we know about the artist. We have to treat this artist as if they were a brand new artist and listen to it first with that mindset. Second, what would help is we understand that there are a lot of people that are listening to this album who are originally hip hop fans. And there are so many, if you look at the comment section of a lot of the songs, uh, well, let me just say this for the record. I have a YouTube music account. And so when you play the songs, people can comment underneath each song, right? And what I'm looking at is a lot of people are just first, a lot of people thought that this man was bullshitting when he said that this album had no bars. The man clearly gave you a understanding of what to expect from this album. He said that there will be no bars, there will be no bass, there will be no 808s, there will be no drums. It would be an instrumental album. An instrumental would win jazz album. And in the comment section, a lot of people are saying that this song or that song or this song or that song sounds like something that Drake would rap over. Sounds like something that this person could do, something that that person could do. You know what I mean? And if you're taking your hip hop ears and you're applying it, trying to make it applicable to the listening of this album, then you're going about it with the wrong approach, right? Secondly, what a lot of people are doing is they are hearing the album and not listening to it. The two different things, right? Uh, when I was a student at Mississippi Valley State University, my band director, Mr. Leonard Tramiel, Leonard Tramiel would always say that there's a big difference between listening and hearing, and it all boils down to two words. Hearing is unattentive awareness. Listening is attentive awareness. You have to listen to this album. You can't just hear it, which is going to pose a problem for a lot of people. But I see that it posed a problem additionally for some of the people that worked on the album, specifically the engineers. Do I like the album? I do. Some songs kind of put you in the mode of just lighting incense in your house and sitting in the tub, candles, lights off, vibing, zoning. Some songs kind of remind you of the art of noise and a lot of the stuff that they did. Uh, I can even see one song that is kind of will put you in the mood for some bedroom activity, right? But the hard part for me was being able to do the one thing that I'm telling everybody is to do. The one thing for me that was hard to do, it was hard for me to wrap my brain around the fact that 3,000 dropped an album and I don't hear 3,000 spit. I came to terms with that before uh, I was able to listen to it. I came to terms with it before I was able to listen to it. Don't get me wrong, but it still does not satisfy the hunger that we as fans of Outkast have to hear him put out something else, right? Um, yeah. So that's that. Um, I also think that in terms of replay value, this thing is something that is so different, is so new, and surprisingly exciting that it does have replay value, but only for people who are lovers of music, for those who are lovers of music and the theory of music. Those people are going to appreciate it. Those people are also going to appreciate the fact that this was something that is almost like improvisational woodwind masterpiece, right? Now, listening to this directly straight from your phone or listening to it on your speakers in your car or on your speakers in your house. Um, that's one thing. But to be able to have that sound come directly into your ears and process directly there, you're able to hear more than you normally would, right? But because you're able to hear more than you normally would, I see instances in a number of songs, and almost all of them, where the mix of the song, of the album, of each song could have been done better. That is an engineering problem. That's a mixing problem. That's not to take anything away from the performers. The performers did what they were supposed to do. Um, yeah. So I thoroughly enjoyed the album, and at the same time, I can also say that I still do want 3 stacks. This album was Andre Benjamin doing some shit. I can't even. Yeah, this is Andre Benjamin putting something out. I want 3,000. That's what I want. You know what I mean? Uh, but if I look at this playlist and what I'm doing, also, I'm not giving a full review because I am going to listen to it a couple of times. Um, while I am doing my podcast here, I also have a show that I host in the metaverse. And the show that I host in the metaverse, we are going to do a more thorough breakdown. My thorough breakdown of each track is going to be done there first, and then I will have an opportunity to come back here and do a thorough breakdown uh, here. But my exclusive breakdown will be done first in the metaverse. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Is if you're talking about the simple fact that the mixing was off, yeah, okay, so that's exactly. Uh, the mix was definitely off. You know what I mean? Um, but again, with each individual track, what I am going to do is I am going to I'm obligated to do my review first in the metaverse, and then I'll come back here. But I did promise the people that were here yesterday that I would come back here and I would give an opinion on the album. Uh, from a musical standpoint, uh, again, I enjoyed it. Um, it won't have as much replay value uh, for me as other instrumental albums are concerned. It won't have as much replay value. But I also believe that this is something that is going to grow on people, right? There are artists that put out stuff when you first hear it, it's like, oh, that's some bullshit. But as time goes along, you realize, oh, well, maybe I was wrong. And what he has consistently been able to do is to prove people wrong. Uh, he's been able to consistently prove people wrong in the fact that a lot of the times when he releases stuff, when he puts stuff out, uh, he shows that he's 3 to 5 years creatively ahead of the masses. So we don't always get it. We don't always understand it. and I think that that is something that's going to happen with with this album. I looked at the playlist. We talked about the playlist in the metaverse, not necessarily here yesterday, but we talked about the playlist. Um, I can say that with almost an hour and a half worth of content, some of these songs, uh, like the very first one, um, it is. I'm looking at it. It's 12 minutes and 21 seconds. That's just the first song. A lot of the stuff that's in that song um, is repetitive, and in some instances, the repetitiveness seems unwarranted. Excuse me, like in song number one. Meanwhile, if I'm looking at song number four, that repetitiveness is necessary. You know what I mean? And again, I'll go through a lot of those things with you all maybe Thursday. Wait, Thursday is Thanksgiving, right? We might do it Wednesday night then, right? Yeah, we'll do it Wednesday. We'll do it Wednesday. Uh, my show in the metaverse is on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'll come here maybe Wednesday at 8, and we'll talk about that track. We'll go track by track, um, things like that. Uh, the For some people, the names of the songs could be more interesting than the songs themselves. That's the case for a lot of people. It's not the case for me, with the exception of one song. One song I just don't like at all. I'm not going to tell you which one I don't like yet, but one song I don't like at all. I don't like the title. I don't like the instrumentation. I don't like the arrangements. I don't like the melodies. But when you're talking about one song that I absolutely don't like out of eight, that's not a bad ratio. It's not a bad ratio at all, right? Um, but yeah, there's a lot that's here to unpack. There's a lot that I'm going to get into, but I didn't want to leave people hanging by telling them that I was going to be here and not be here. Um, you realize that when you're in the uh, in the world of podcasting and in the world of X, Y, and Z, uh, when you say you have to do, then you say you're going to do something, you have to do it. You know what I mean? When you say you're going to do something, you have to do it, and I did. And I'm not going to take up too much time with you all today because normally I will be asleep now because I have to go to work uh, at midnight. But I just wanted to make sure that I let you all know that I did listen to the album. I have two songs that I know for sure. The album itself won't get uh won't get replay a lot, but that there are two songs on here that are going to be on repeat for me for a while. And who knows, those two songs I may get tired of them and swap them out with another two songs again because the thing was is that is that sometimes it takes a while for an album or a song or even a genre of music to resonate with you. But once it does, the light bulb goes off and it clicks with you. And looking at the comments that I've been looking at on Twitter and on Facebook and stuff like that, for a lot of people, this hasn't resonated with a lot of people. I also realize that it hasn't resonated with a lot of men versus women, you know. But we will get into all of that uh in 4 days on Wednesday, right? But in the meantime and in between time, I just want to say to you that I appreciate you for tuning in to this real quick update on the album. And I am gonna go ahead and sign out now. I want you to make sure that you follow me on Facebook, on TikTok, on Twitter, on IG, and on YouTube. Every platform, I am Kattphish. Every day, I am Kattphish. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you all on Wednesday.